August 15th, 1969 marked a turning point in music and culture during the 1960s through 1970s. Woodstock, a music festival in Bethel, New York, was known as 3 Days of Peace and Music. Though many consider Woodstock to be solely about drugs and hippies, the impact is much greater. Woodstock brings together anti-war culture and music of the 1970s, though also sparking criticism in society.
Woodstock Music Festival began on August 15th of 1969 and ended on August 17th. It had performances by over 25 bands such as The Who, Jimi Hendrix, and Janis Joplin. Woodstock, however, became known for more than just its music. It became known as a place for hippies to go and gather and do drugs, but there is much more behind the story of Woodstock than many may know. Performer Richie Havens said about the concert, "Woodstock was not about sex and drugs and rock and roll. It was about spirituality and love, about sharing, about helping each other, living in peace and harmony for 3 days."
People who attended were headstrong advocates for change in the world, on subjects like anti-war and vegetarianism. The festival became a place for young people to be able to openly speak their opinions on topics such as anti-war, which caused many to believe that they had a voice in society. In a performance on the final day of Woodstock, Jimi Hendrix played the national anthem on the guitar, simulating an anti-war message when adding in sound effects of gunfire and bombs.
Another anti-war song was performed by Country Joe and the Fish, where an open opposition to the Vietnam War was evident, saying things like, "What we are fighting for, don't ask me, I don't give a damn, next step is Vietnam," and "Just so the traitors don't drop the bomb, drop it on the Viet Cong." Slogans like "Make love, not war," and "Drop acid, not bombs" were popular at Woodstock and conveyed the message of hatred for war that so many attendees shared.
Sing it! 1, 2, 3. What are we fighting for? Don't ask me, don't give a damn. Louder! Vietnam. And it starts and starts. Open up pearly gates. Well, I ain't no time to wonder why people all gone.
Many of these people were free spirits, so to speak, and often did drugs. According to an article in Times Magazine, 90% of Woodstock attendees openly smoked marijuana. The amount of drugs and public nudity became an issue for many of non-Woodstock attendees who frowned upon the festival and its hippie culture. Drugs like LSD, marijuana, and even some instances of heroin and cocaine were popular at the festival. Instances of drug overdose were recorded, and due to the lack of information of how drugs can affect your body, many of the people in attendance experimented with drugs while at Woodstock.
Initially expecting 30 to 40,000 people, the festival grew to over 400,000 as the word of the festival spread. Many people who attended Woodstock didn't even buy a ticket as it was so easy to climb through a hole in the fence or just walk in. The overwhelming amount of people caused a shortage of food, water, and bathrooms, which resulted into extremely unsanitary conditions.
The people of Bethel, New York strongly opposed the festival. They did not like the public nudity, drugs, and extremely large crowd that met during the duration of the festival. It caused a problem for the regular citizens of the small farm town. They protested the festival for days before but were unable to stop the waves of people from flooding into their town.
Though some people viewed Woodstock negatively, many will argue that it is one of the most influential concerts of all time. Woodstock gave people an outlet to voice their opinions and finally be heard. The hippies of Woodstock united to form a group that would advocate for change and celebrate peace in the world.